Hey, what's going on, people? This is the Then Everything After podcast with your boy A Max,
Sasha Chantel,
and your boy Franklin, aka the King of Trainers.
What's going on, people?
hello.
We're here. How we doing?
Yeah, we're
Good.
good.
We're very good today.
You know what? We're just gonna jump straight into this conversation. Obviously, the last thing we posted was in regards to the planned easing of lockdown. Now, obviously, we've had the speech from Boris Johnson.
We've had the speech.
Yeah, the interesting speech. So, what's your guys' opinions on that?
Go on, Fab. You go first.
Well, my dear people, I think that we need to take account of our actions, and I say we go out and we stay in, and we go to work and we don't go to work. So my thing is, Franklin will now take control of the country.
Please do.
Please.
Love it.
I think we need to understand that Boris Johnson is not one person. I think we need to also understand that, I'm not even defending him. I'm just talking the facts that there's definitely a committee behind him. The dossier is 50 pages long. So we need to understand that he's been advised. Remember, at this point, we have advisory teams upon advisory teams upon advisory teams. So we need to look at that. However, I feel that the message and the narrative they gave, it should have been very clear. It wasn't clear at all. I think they should have stopped. They should have not given a long speech and made things very short and simple. For those who can go to work, go to work. Don't use London transport. That's it. It's like, that's it. That's it. And then we go into the next stage. Do you get what I mean? But, to say we go in and we go out and we come back and we come forth, it's not going to run.
I'm sorry.
No, it's hilarious because it's true, and it's sad because it's true.
Do you know what? For me, there's always been a confused message. There's never been any weight behind anything they've delivered as a government. I'm definitely not one to pinpoint all the blame on one person. I know there's a whole mechanics behind it. He's one person, a part of a whole wheel of other people, and I get that. But I feel the message has always been all over the place. There's been no conviction behind anything they've told us to do. And even when it's a sense of giving a direct command, like, don't leave your house, there's still been a suggestion of, but if you need to, then you should. Like, what are we doing here? Are we in or are we out? People need to be given direct rules. Otherwise, you break them. Like, if you give a child, for example, like, I don't want to liken the two, but children need direct yes or no. They can't be told, maybe. Can I have a sweet? Maybe. And like, no. It's either yes or no. That's it. And that's how people learn, and that's how things get changed. But all this dilly-dallying has created chaos and just a sense of lack of respect for the government that people already don't respect anyway. So
I agree.
It's a very messy situation.
I agree.
It's interesting because you say like 50-page dossier, and obviously he's had to, I don't know if the right word is summarize that in his speech. Given the situation and given him as a character, could this be one of those things where he hasn't had the opportunity to fully evaluate that document ahead of giving that speech? It's been prepared. He's given a speech. He's been given a summary of that document. He's maybe remembered what he's remembered. He's gone out, he's delivered. Because his job is actually to instill faith in the people, and it's to keep that relationship going with those people that voted for him, essentially.
I don't even think he was fully recovered.
It's mad. See,
he looked ill still. Oh God.
But Sash, when you look ill after going through COVID,
that's what I mean. I just felt like
having a baby, you're six. I'll be stressed.
That's what I mean. Didn't he look stressed? He looked like he looked flustered. He looked really on edge, and I feel like maybe they should have postponed it. I don't know. I know time was of the essence. But I just feel like a few more days, it just looks ruffled. And it came across very, very, it was very, it wasn't right. It wasn't right. The whole thing wasn't right.
I agree.
Did
any of you guys watch the question time in Parliament the day after?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah. A bit of the same thing, to be fair. I mean, I think what they're trying to really say is that if they don't kickstart something, the economy is going to crumble. And I think they're trying to say it in a way where, guys, we need you guys to go out, work and brave it, because we can't afford to pay 50 billion a month for how much it's costing on this furlough scheme, you know. And the unfortunate thing is that if this furlough scheme continues, we, the taxpayer, are going to have to pay more tax.
Yeah.
The interest rates may go up. People are going to lose their homes. So that's another yin and yang. And I think public safety is number one.
Of course.
At the same time, with public safety being number one, after public safety, a lot of us could lose our homes if the companies we work for go bankrupt. So,
that's right.
You know, so the FCA today actually announced a 12-month mortgage holiday, which they may see if they can fund. So I don't know how that's going to work, but they're going to give a 12-month mortgage holiday, or they're recommending a 12-month mortgage holiday, because right now it's peak times.
I think that's clear. I think what you said there, Fab, is just like literally is spot on. There's implications to this, and as much as we have to protect health and so forth, there's only so long we can shut down like this, and so many people will not recover. And it's scary because there's so many businesses who, if they go a few more months, that's it. They're done.
It's done.
They're finished, you know. And the whole building back that life is going to be very, very challenging. And some people won't survive it. So again, it's very scary. But I just feel the whole delivery of how it came out just could have been better. And I feel he looked ill prepared, and he looked very ruffled, and it wasn't a good message to put to the British public. It just wasn't.
I agree.
Yeah, it's mad. It's like I looked at the whole thing, and I thought to myself, here's a man that is living up to it's almost like, instead of it being for the public, it's versus the media. And that's always a problem. Like, it should never be the politician starts trying to posture so that whatever the media says, they're combating that message. It should just be focused on what needs to be focused on. Like you both said, if he wasn't in the position to deliver that speech, it's a very simple fix. I'm postponing it until Wednesday. I'm postponing it until Friday. I'm postponing it until Saturday. The announcement is going to wait, but I assure you we're you know, working through this situation. But I don't want to say anything offhand. I want to make sure that, you know, I come to you correct.
That's exactly it.
You know, it's like, what was the point in doing it? Because now there's this important issue, and it's being glazed over by, it's being blighted by that speech and people's opinions of the government.
There's always memes about it.
That's it. Instead of people focusing on the issue, people are fixated on how bad a job he's done in that speech. They're now going back and they're going, how bad has he been on X, Y, and Z? It's like, look.
There's a bigger picture here.
It's
not about what he said. It's what needs to be done now going forward. That's it.
Exactly. Like, okay, so for the sake of this conversation, I'll stay politically impartial. I won't show my card of which political direction I kind of sway to. I'm not going to do that, just for the sake of this conversation, and because I feel like these conversations are to get people to input their opinions on this, and them to bring their insight to the table. Because at the end of the day, he's delivered that speech, but there still needs to be a solution.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there still needs to be a solution. That wasn't it. Yeah, that wasn't it. I like, we've all got our different opinions, but personally, I just don't think that was it. You just confuse people more than they have been so far. People have left that conversation with more questions than answers.
Right.
You know, so my question to both of you is, what are sensible solutions to these situations? Like this situation right now, what's sensible, what's feasible?
Go on, Sash.
What's sensible and what's feasible? I feel that there's going to be a point when they say, right, the doors are open now, go out. And that's a scary notion, but there's nothing else that can happen. We live in apparently we're meant to be scientifically ahead, and by 2020 we thought we had a very strong scientific community, but I'm sorry, all it's shown me is that they're getting paid a lot of money for nothing, and that's my opinion. Like, I just don't see what all this money getting pumped into science has done, because they're none the wiser than how they were back in the Spanish flu and beyond. They can't handle it, and we should be more advanced, and we're not, and it's actually quite embarrassing. And I think going forward, it's about looking at where money goes and who actually has it, and how all these people have a say over our lives, and they have no clue what they're doing. That's all it's telling us. They're as lost as we are. So it's about taking our chances at the end of the day, and really just praying and having a belief that things will get better, because that's what I'm holding on to.
Because it's mad. It's like, the reason I asked that question is because they're saying go out. The statistics are saying stay in. The economy's saying go out. If you've got sick people, like sick relatives, or you're ill or susceptible to illness, stay in. It's like, but you still need to work because you need to make a living, but not every job allows you to work from home. So it's like, okay,
we can't stay in forever.
Yeah, exactly.
We just cannot.
Exactly. But it's like, I look at this as well, and I think, well, we've had other types of flu, we've had other types of illnesses, historically, and people still had to go out and work. And I get it. They've sown this seed, which is the problem. And this seed is fear. Because every single day that they report another 1,000 deaths, they put people in a position where they don't know what to do. So in not knowing what to do, nobody's able to make the most rational decision that they would normally make, unless they are able to separate themselves from this conversation. And most people right now, I don't think, are separating themselves from this conversation. They may pretend to be, but if you have a real conversation with them, the fear tells you otherwise. They are affected by this conversation. And it's because you're seeing the result of it happen around you. And the scary thing is, how do we know for certain that every death that's recorded is actually to do with this and not something else? There's no way for us to be able to discern whether it is or not, because it's the person in the hospital recording the information, it's the team of people recording that information, it's the people logging the information, that are saying, it's the people testing. So we have to kind of go blindly and say, okay, we trust the NHS to do the right thing and, to give us the right information. But then we've got the media really loudly broadcasting that on a day-to-day basis, like 70,000 times a day. It's like, you don't see anything else. Like, it doesn't matter what website I go to. I'll go to Amazon, COVID information. I'll check my email, COVID information. I'll get an email from friends or business or whatever it is, COVID information. Whatever application, Facebook, COVID, like, it's everywhere. So I feel like something has to give in relation to that. Something has to give in relation to that. I don't feel they have to
pay them as a people. We pay we're their employees and they're our employer. So we actually pay them in a sense, right? So as the people paying them, we expect them to know what to do. And in this case, they don't know. And everyone's just guessing. And we have to accept that this is what's going to happen. Eventually we're going to open up the world, and it's going to be a case of survival of the fittest. And it's a scary thing, but that is what it's going to be, because there is no way of fixing this. There is no virus cure. There's nothing. It's all guesswork at the moment. So we have to just literally wait it out. And when it all opens up, take our chances when we're out there and see how this pans out. That is as real as it gets.
Right.
So right, the last word will go to the PM. And what I say is, take care, stay safe, and be well. Until next time.
Amen.
Amen. All right, that's all we got time for. On those illustrious words, we bid you adieu. Adieu.
Peace.
Peace.